my God, I got exactly what I wanted for Christmas. 9 new standout talented Eagles. Thank you, Howie Roseman. What's going on, everybody? I am Dalton Holland from 302 Birds, bringing you guys a draft grade and analysis for all 9 of these star-studded Philadelphia Eagles. 9 new smiling faces that will be walking into the building every day, trying to make a name for themselves, make it to the NFL Pro Bowl, or some of them just earn a starting spot on this team. I got a grade for each of them. Overall, giving the Philadelphia Eagles an A. I think Howie Roseman crushed it this draft. This guy could not sit still. You saw the record today. Most trades ever by a GM ever in a draft. I believe in one day, if not probably throughout the whole draft as well. The dude just was, what's up? What's up? What are you doing? How you doing? Like on every single social media outlet he could have been on. DMing, snapping, fucking tweeting. Yo, what do you got? Who you talking to? Freaking, that guy is a wheeling, dealing mofo. And if Howie Roseman is not your Bill Belichick of the 2010s of GMs right now, who is? Let me know in the comments. I mean, this guy is in his peak era right now. And as an Eagles fan, I couldn't be more thankful. But let's break down these picks for you guys. First round, Eagles select Quinan Mitchell. I was thrilled with this pick. This guy was a stud. Played all 6 games as a true freshman during the COVID season, and he balled. Then he gets a little bit older in his career and just keeps going. He almost was going to transfer, decided not to, and I love that factor about him. There were 2 guys that Nick Saban was really trying to lure to Alabama and get in the transfer portal. The Philadelphia Eagles have both of those players. Both of those players, being Quinan Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, also were the 2 starters on Nick Saban's all-college team for this year's draft. First team. The Eagles have both of those guys. Let that sink in. But Quinan Mitchell is going to be a star-studded beast for the Eagles. He's going to be that shutdown corner that they need. Some people talk about his size. I don't think his size is going to be a problem. I think learning from Darius Slay is only going to help him. And ironically, in the Senior Bowl, they asked him, they said, if there was one player you can model your game after, who would it be? He said, Darius Slay. Now look at it. He gets to learn from the guy every day. So this is a match made in heaven, a slam dunk pick. I'm giving it an A. The Eagles got the guy that they did the most research on. It was an educated pick. It was a smart pick, and it was the right pick. Welcome to Philadelphia, Quinan Mitchell. And I just want to highlight real quick, shout out to my guy, Philly Sports Guy, the ambassador for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles need to offer you a job and pay you for what you do. I'm serious. He's out there giving the guy his first pick. At first, the guy, I would say, he was a little bit formal, Quinan Mitchell. You know, when you first get drafted, you want to do the right things. And PSG, I think, did a wonderful job getting him to loosen up and get him to give that first Eagles chain and have a huge smile on his face ear to ear. It got me fired up by the end of the video. Like, all right, welcome to Philadelphia, young man. Let's have some fun. So overall, A for the first pick for the Eagles and Quinan Mitchell. Second round then. I'm cooking up some chicken cutlets. I was shocked. Philadelphia Eagles select Cooper DeJean, or as my boy Nady says, Cooper DeJean, the guy with the bed sheet. If you guys don't know him, Gardner McMinshew McMahon, Vince McMahon, he does it all. Or Jim McMahon, sorry. Not Vince McMahon, Jim McMahon. Point being, he had a bed sheet that said Cooper DeJean 2 days before this. He had to paint it up before the draft. He was ready. Day 2. There with it, Eagles make the right pick. And they get a guy that I think kills 3 birds with 1 stone. The dude can play safety. The dude can play corner. The dude can play punt returner. You're getting 3 roster spots in 1 player. His attitude is great. From the cornfields to the chaos. Welcome to Philadelphia, Cooper DeJean. We are so excited to have you here, man. I think he's going to crush it here in midnight green. He's going to look dirty in that all-black uniform. Woo! I'm copping that jersey. This is the guy that I wanted the most in the draft because if he's not going to be a pro baller on your team, he's going to be a pro baller on another's team and a problem. I think if they utilize him correctly, he could very much remind me of Harrison Smith's coverage skills. Heat-seeking missile, too. Heat-seeking missile, just like Howie moving up in the draft to go get him. Love this pick. A+, great move, Howie Roseman. Third round, then. I was salivating at the mouth for Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I'm not going to lie to you guys. That's kind of who I wanted here. Eagles selected Jayx Hunt. I go on my laptop. I look up, who is Jayx Hunt? I don't know how I didn't know who this guy was before. Also, I was a little bit busy this year. I didn't do as much draft research as I wanted to. But when I started learning and going down the rabbit hole in Jayx Hunt, I was thrilled with the more I learned about him. The dude started as a defensive back at Cornell, transferred then to Houston Christian, became the first player to ever get drafted out of his school. Jayx has more followers on Instagram than the damn program. Shout out to the Huskies. This guy is insane, though. Freak athlete, finds a way to the QB, has great strength. The only thing I think he needs to work on is a little bit of his handwork, but the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line is the perfect place to learn and get better because it's one of the best in the NFL. So if you can do it against them in practice, you can probably do it against some other bozo teams, what I'm trying to say. Jayx Hunt, though, I think is going to be a great project for Vic Fangio. I think it's only a matter of time until this guy becomes a top-tier edge rusher. This could be a power move for the Eagles. Remember Jordan Mailata? He didn't play football very long and then switched, learned it, became one of the best tackles in the NFL. Just an athlete. That's what I think Jayx Hunt is, an athlete. Transferring to secondary to edge, it's going to take a little bit of time to learn. I think the more time that goes by, the better he's going to get at his position. Overall, I'm giving this pick a B+. I really liked it a lot. I actually sent him a DM when he first came to Philadelphia, and he replied and said, "Fly, Eagles, fly," in capital letters. So you got to love that. 4th round, Will Shipley. This pick surprised me a little bit. At first, I wasn't too happy with it. The Eagles obviously have Saquon, Kenneth Gainwell, freaking Boston. But the more I thought about it, and when I looked at the film and the 2 running backs that were picked after, it's a best available pick, and the pick makes sense. This guy, I think, will be our running back number 3. I think he'll be a great player. I gave the pick a C+. I would have maybe looked at some wide receivers there just because that's more of a need. But if, God forbid, anything ever happens injury-prone wise, hope it doesn't. This guy, I think, could be a good value pick and a good sleeper for the Eagles, especially at running back. I think it's also a long-term pick. You let him develop. And he's going to be a pretty good receiving back, I think, too, for the Birds. Then in the 5th round, I gave this pick a B+. I want to welcome Aeneas Smith to the team, or Aeneas. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Aeneas Smith. This dude is dirty in the slot. He tears up people. Reminds me a lot of Deebo Samuel in the way that he plays. He just runs angry. And this is exactly what the Eagles needed at slot to replace Quez Watkins. I gave this pick a B+. I think that he's a great receiver. I maybe would have looked at some other receivers personally, a little bit higher in the 4th round, but I don't mind this pick at all, and I think he's a stud. Then, along in the 5th round, Howie got busy in the 5th round. 3 picks. He picked up the hometown guy from Philadelphia, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I cannot tell you guys how much I love this pick, how much this pick makes sense. I'm giving it an A-. He comes back to his hometown area. He knows what it's like to be an Eagles fan. He understands that when you hold the door for somebody at Wawa, you say "Go Birds." He understands that this city is a football city, that people really look up to football players. I know Quinan Mitchell is really learning that today. Shout out to him, spending some time with the Eagles Autism Foundation, learning how important to us and how instrumental our players are of being a member of the community. Being out there, networking with people, talking to people, just being a good human. And I think Trotter Jr. already was that. So the fact that the Eagles drafted him, I love that. Not to mention the dude is an insane football player and he knows how to tackle. He knows how to tackle. The Eagles needed that last year so bad. There were so many times that I wanted to throw my remote controller through the screen like a freaking axe. Like, you know, when you go to those places and you just get an axe stuck on the wall? That was what I wanted to do with my remote controller, trying to watch some of the Philadelphia Eagles tackle last year. Very fitting that they bring in Axeman Jr. now, so I don't have to do that. He can do that for me on the football field. This guy's going to tear it up. I think that this was a great pick. I'm so thrilled that the Eagles drafted him, and he's going to be a midnight green. A- for this gentleman. Moving on to Trevor Keegan. Kelsey Jr. almost at that parade. This guy loves to take his shirt off. He's got a sick tattoo going on, but I'm going to give this an A. The Eagles needed some help at guard. they get some help. I think he's going to probably look at trying to go for that starting right guard spot right next to Lane. They're going to leave Dickerson at the left guard, and this guy's athletic. He's very agile. That's what usually Howie looks for an offensive lineman. And I think off the field, he's going to have a lot of fun. So I just can't wait to see this guy come to Philadelphia. These offensive linemen for the Eagles have a lot of personality. Of course, nobody can ever replace Jason Kelce. But I will say, this young core, they're going to be pretty fun to watch for a couple of years. I hope Kelce comes back to coach or something in some form like he says he does and is around, because watching him interact with these guys, I think, is going to be priceless. Moving along now. So in the 7th round, or I'm sorry, not the 7th round. In the 6th round, then, the Eagles' 7th overall guy, they go ahead and pick up Trevor Keegan, for the pick. In the 6th round, then, they go ahead and get some help at tight end, I would say, moreover, but wide receiver too. They get a physical pass catcher for the red zone in Johnny Wilson from Florida State. This dude, I gave a B+ for the pick. There were, once again, a couple other guys I might have looked at a specific tight end just for blocking purposes. But the Eagles get a guy that I think can play football and is a red zone threat. Johnny Wilson's a great player. He also, being the player he is, I think he's going to be an insane pass catcher at tight end. The blocking is a little bit what worries me. But if he can work on that, I think that he could be a tight end 2 or a tight end 3 for this team if he gets it together. Because the Eagles are going to need a tight end 2. They're going to need somebody to step it up this year and really establish himself, especially if they want to run a 2 tight end set. Not to mention Johnny Wilson also has some sick hair, so shout out to him. And last but not least, the Eagles' 9th overall and last pick in the 6th round. They bring in Dylan McMahon from NC State, the center. I love this pick. This guy's a great player. Shout out to Simone with Sports. She called this 2 months ago. She said that this guy was her standout at the Shrine Bowl. And when you look at his stats as well, with the 20-yard shuttle and the 3-cone drill, the second, both stats, 20-yard shuttle and the cone, he's second amongst all offensive linemen for both those, which are both very agile and quick stats for an offensive lineman and a center. So I think that shows you, okay, this guy or Big Country Cam Jurgens, Beef Jerky, one of the two of them is going to be Kelce's long-term replacement, I think. I don't think that they're going to try to move Dickerson out of left guard unless they need to at some kind of an injury. That wouldn't make any sense to me. So leave him where he's at. I think that this is a great draft for our Philadelphia Eagles. I gave the McMahon pick a B, to be clear on that, if you guys didn't hear that. And overall, I gave our Philadelphia Eagles an A. What did you guys give our birds? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all your guys' time. And if you like more videos like these, let me know in the comments. As always, God bless. Go Birds.